Well, what do you want to say about Carl?
What can we say about Carl?
She did go with Carl.
Children.
It was,
Just that he had children.
What did Uncle Carl do?
He worked at Metric Metal.
Metric metal.
Yeah.
He left my father in the foundry at Bucyrus area and went to work at the Metric.
American Meter.
American.
Yeah. They closed
Well,
it up,
it's
didn't they?
same
Jen?
thing.
And then
No.
Singer bought them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Tenth and
Carl was
Payne.
at American Meter?
That's
Yes.
right, that's where it was, Tenth and Payne. They used to go around and go to Hammermill.
Is that building still there? Or did
Yeah.
I
down
don't
at
remember,
10th
I don't go down the east side anymore.
Down in 10th and Wayne or somewhere down, not Wayne, but
10th and Payne.
10th and Payne.
Yeah, Tenth and Payne.
Okay. And then, well, is there anything else you want to say about Carl?
There should be something else.
He was a good guy.
Yeah, he was.
He was kind of thin, you know. He never
He
gained-
was.
he
He was
was.
very wiry and
Yes,
thin.
he was.
And was he a redhead?
No.
No.
You were, though, Uncle Alex.
Yes.
Both of us.
Oh, you are too?
Oh, yes, I am.
Carrot tops.
Right?
This is annoying.
And,
Uncle Tony had red hair.
okay, so we're at, well, Joseph didn't have red hair. Did Uncle Steve have red hair?
No,
Reddish.
no.
Yeah,
No.
Steve had reddish hair.
I think he had
He
reddish
Uncle
hair.
Steve didn't,
How do you know?
That's how I
Uncle
remember him.
Steve.
but I don't think.
I don't remember
What color was yours?
Red.
Mine was red.
Both of ours had red
His
hair.
hair was never
Steve
the
was
color.
like you, Uncle Alex, I think.
He never
No,
had red
he
hair.
was a good guy.
Well, that may
He
be, but his
helped
hair was the same.
everybody.
Yeah, I don't think
His hair was reddish, I think.
Didn't
I
Uncle
don't.
Steve help build our garage?
Yeah.
He helped build our garage.
No,
Yes, he did.
Prove it.
he
Something about the cement block.
wasn't a cement block. He was helping Dad put the doors up, and his finger got caught in the spring.
Uh-oh.
When they were putting the garage doors up, DeFranco built the garage, because that was...
No, DeFranco built the blocks,
fingers
but
good?
he never did the.
Oh, okay, that could be. And
Yeah.
Dad and Uncle
Steve.
Steve were putting the garage doors up, and the big springs let loose, and Steve got his fingers caught in the springs when they let loose.
Okay.
I remember that. I think there was some words I heard that I had never heard before that.
Dennis, introduce yourself on the camera.
I'm Dennis.
And who are you?
Hurdley, Bill's son.
Okay, now we're to Uncle Tony. We all know a lot about Uncle Tony, good guy. Uncle Tony is next in line, and he was married to Aunt Helen. Or
Betty.
Aunt Betty, I mean.
Betty.
What was her last name?
It's the end of the.
Skoda.
Skoda, yeah.
And they lived on the east side,
East
up,
10th Street.
upstairs,
between-
Over
Yep.
her family.
up over her family.
Right.
Aunt Betty took care of her mother for years.
He worked at Mark Toys when I went to work there at 18. He had been there a number of years, and he was a jitney driver, and actually didn't even know who he was until somebody said, that guy out there in that jitney has the same last name as you. And I went on there, it was Uncle Tony. And then after that, we kind of got to be, friends. And his brother-in-law, Leo Skoda, was a purchasing agent or something with the company. And Tony, I think probably, I bet he was with them 30, 35 years with Mark's Toys.
Did he retire from Mark's?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And Uncle Tony and my father, William, who will be next, were born on the same day a year apart. Uncle Tony is the eldest one. And his children are
Tony.
Anthony.
Tony was an administrator at St. Vincent's Hospital.
But he goes by Anthony. Does not like to be called Tony.
No,
Yeah, I know.
And he's still there, I think.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And Danny
Yeah.
and Ronnie. And
Ronnie lives in
Which
Indiana.
one were
Danny lives in
were
Oregon,
PNC?
I think.
Anthony.
Anthony. I think he was what, a bookkeeper? Something like that. Yeah, he worked
He
there.
still lives out there on West Ridge Road.
Maybe, I don't know.
okay.
And there was something else. And don't forget that Tony and Bill every year celebrated their birthdays.
She said that.
No, I didn't say we celebrated.
Okay, but they,
Same day, birthday.
Yeah, but they every year, one
Yeah.
year we went to Tony's
Yeah.
house, and the next year Tony come to our house.
Yep.
For years and years.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a nice, they always put on a nice luncheon and we would have ham.
all kinds of good things. And Aunt Helen, why do I keep calling her Aunt Helen? Aunt Betty had a village that she set up in her house every single year.
It would cover from
It was
here to
huge, and it was all miniature. Everything. If you can think of it, little people,
snowmen,
everything.
Santa
It took her a day to do it or longer.
Well, and Uncle Tony's hobby was he built scale
Is it
airplanes.
flavored?
Yeah.
He had a room in his house that was nothing but
You don't
airplanes
want
that he
no
built
poison.
hanging from the ceilings.
Uncle Tony's got
You
airplanes.
want some
Yeah.
evil.
Mainly all airplanes. Some ships, I think, but mainly all airplanes.
Beer.
That's why I said evil.
I know you.
And vino and vodka.
No, beer is mine. 2 is enough, and I don't want no more.
In German they say, wie viel kostet eine Flasche Bier bitte?
In Russia, they say Tufshitsky.
Was soll das sprechen bitte?
No sprechen Sie Deutsch.
That's German.
Rozumiesz po polsku?
Aren't you two
No.
supposed to be Hungarian? Where's the Hungarian?
Ja,
Oh,
rozumiesz
I
po
can
polsku.
speak
I
it.
know you can.
I'm the only one I
No.
think.
Laugh.
Who?
Hey.
Dad spoke Hungarian?
Not as much as I did.
Probably not.
I went somewhere with my father to a place in Cleveland that was owned by a Jewish Hungarian, and he talked to Dad, and he told me later on, he says, your father speaks American Hungarian. He says half of what he says is not correct.
Well, getting back to your father and the rest of my brothers and sisters, what little bit we did know about speaking Hungarian, we all learned at home
Yeah.
from one another and our parents.
And Irene, I think, is the only one that can read it. She can read the Hungarian.
That I
I
don't
got a
know.
Hungarian Bible.
Okay, we have to get on to the next one. We're only halfway through. William, that is our dad. This is my mom, his wife, Marie. His children are Dennis and Mary Elizabeth, and we had a brother, William, who passed away when he was 9 months old. And
God, that's so many years.
Dad worked at GE for,
40 years.
no,
40,
38, I think.
it was somewhere right around 40,
Yeah.
39, 41.
Yeah, he was.
I think it was under 40.
He was in. He served in World War II. Didn't Uncle Carl serve in the war too?
He was in the service.
Uncle Carl was in the service. I don't know if any of the other ones were.
Uncle Georgie, I think, was overseas.
Uncle Georgie
Yeah.
wasn't, yeah, Uncle Georgie
Georgie
supposedly was wounded.
Wounded?
But I don't know that to be a fact, but that's what I had heard over
Uncle
the years.
Georgie was wounded? I think I used to hear that too. Okay, so we grew up on Evanston Avenue in Mill Creek. We lived there all of our lives.
50 years.
My dad had a stroke and lived in a nursing home for quite a few years and passed away, and now my mom lives there. What do you want to say about William?
He
No
always said he
comment.
was the best looking in the family.
I was.
You said he was spoiled.
He was.
No, he worked for Western Union.
Yeah.
And
Yes, I remember
a
that.
story he told us when they redid the train station, he said one time he got on to deliver a telegram and he didn't get off quick enough and it took him to Buffalo, I think he said. And he had to take the train back because he didn't get off fast enough. And he rode a bike, right, to deliver telegrams.
Yes.
He got 10 cents a telegram, and he was supposed to give every dollar he made, he was supposed to give his mother a 90 cents, and he got to keep a dime. So he said he did a lot of lying.
That's the first time I ever heard that, man.
Next is Georgie. Was Georgie married?
No.
Yeah.
We didn't put in there about Carl putting the wine out the window.
Yeah, we
You
did.
said yeah, didn't
I
it?
did.
Why?
I think Georgie was married, but I don't know to who.
To,
He
no.
lived over top
Who's just talking about?
Georgie. I think Georgie
Jim, I
was
don't
married.
remember.
He was the one they found dead at the
Yeah.
YMCA.
No, they
Yeah,
found him in
yeah,
a
that's-
trailer.
No,
No,
He's
they
right.
found him at the YMCA.
Was it why?
when Grandma passed away, nobody knew where Georgie was.
Right.
And they had an idea of a farmer he had worked for